Good morning everyone, welcome to EduTap, and in the today's session we are going to discuss the top PIB news from the month of January 2022, and the today's topic of the discussion is Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. So before beginning the session, if you are new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us, and you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of the sessions. To join the Telegram channel, kindly click on the link given in the description below. So let's move on to the session. Let's get started. And here is the topic of the today's discussion, that is Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022. See, we all know that recently on the 23rd of January 2022, India has celebrated 125th birth anniversary of a freedom fighter, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And when we talk about this Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022, this particular award is being instituted by the government of India in order to honor the invaluable contribution which is being made by the individuals and the institutions in the field of disaster management. And when we talk about this award is being conferred in two different categories, that is the institutional category and second one is the individual category. And when we talk about this award is being conferred on 23rd of January, that is the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, and when we talk about the winners of this particular award for year 2022, then this award for year 2022 was being won by Gujarat Institute of Disaster Management in the institutional category. And when we talk about the individual category, in the individual category, Professor Vinod Sharma, who is a senior professor at the Indian Institute of Public Administration and who is also the vice chairman of the Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, has been conferred the Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2022 for year 2022 in the individual category. Okay, so that was all from this particular topic that you are required to remember. And now let's move on to the practice question which is based on the Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar. Okay, and here in order to answer this question, you are required to analyze the three statements which are being mentioned here about this particular award, and then tell me in the comment section below that what exactly is the right answer. If we talk about the very first statement, it says that this award is being conferred to recognize and to honor the invaluable contribution and selfless service rendered by individuals and organizations in the field of disaster management. Okay, so as per our discussion, this particular statement is correct. Now when we talk about the second statement, it says that this particular award has been won by Gujarat Institute of Disaster Management in the field of in the institutional category. Okay, and when we talk about the third statement, it says that Professor Vinod Sharma has won this award for year 2022 in the individual category, and that is also correct. So the right answer for this question will be option E, that is all of the above. So I hope that this particular question is very much clear, and here from this particular question you can see that on what dimensions the question can be asked from this type of news articles. Okay, now let us move on to the next question of the day, that is, with which one of the following countries India has recently discussed the challenges and opportunities to combat the climate change through technology-led carbon capture and utilization? See, recently with one of the countries, India has held a workshop which is titled as Scoping Workshop on the Carbon Capture. Okay, and here under this particular workshop, the experts of both the countries have discussed the challenges and the opportunities in order to combat climate change. And here in this question you are required to identify the name of the country with which this particular workshop was being held, and whether it is USA, Brazil, France, Japan or South Africa. So do answer the question in the comment section below, and the right answer for this question is option A, that is USA. So now when we talk about this particular news article, here this particular workshop, that is the Indo-US Scoping Workshop on the Carbon Capture, was being held between India and United States. And when we talk about the organizing bodies for this particular workshop, then this workshop was being organized by the Department of Science and Technology under the Government of India and the Department of Energy of United States of America. Okay, so this particular part was the major part that you are required to remember. Now let's discuss some other important points which were mentioned in the article, and the very first point is the point which we have discussed so many times in our session, that is India has targeted to become a net zero emission nation by year 2070, and this announcement was being made by our Honorable Prime Minister during the COP26 summit which was held in Glasgow last year. Now when we talk about the other important part, so both these experts from these countries have discussed about the carbon capture, utilization and storage, which they thought that it is one of the key pathway in order to reduce the emissions while continuing to develop sustainably at an unprecedented pace. So that was all from this particular news article that you are required to remember. And now let's move on to the next news and the next question of our today's session. And here, see, this particular question is really very important from the exam point of view. And why so? Because this question is, which one of the following countries has recently emerged as the largest exporter of cucumber and gherkins in the world? Whether it was India, Brazil, China, Bangladesh and Indonesia. See, recently one of the countries among these 5 options have emerged as the largest exporter of cucumber and gherkins in the world. And the right answer to this question is India, and that is the reason that this particular question I have marked the star here, that it is really very important from the exam point of view. Okay, so here you can see from the headline from the PIB itself that India has emerged as the largest exporter of cucumber and gherkins in the world, as India has exported cucumber and gherkins to the tune of this particular value of the metric tons with a value of $114 million during the time period of April to October 2021. And you will be surprised to hear that in the previous financial year as well, India has crossed the 223 USD mark for the exports of cucumber and gherkins. So that is the reason that this particular part is really very important. And apart from that, there is another important point, the data which was being mentioned in the news, that is when we talk about India, it accounts for 15% of the production of the world's gherkin requirement. Okay, and this particular gherkin is being currently exported to more than 20 countries of this world by the India. So that was really important. If in the exam it is being asked that which country has emerged as the largest exporter of cucumber and gherkin recently in the world, then the answer for this question will be India. Now let's move on to the next question, and the next question is the Ministry of Culture to organize Rangoli Utsav, which is titled as Umang on the occasion of National Girl Child Day. And in this question you are required to tell me that on which date India celebrates the National Girl Child Day. See, these kind of days are also very important from the exam point of view, and recently the Ministry of Culture has announced that on the occasion of National Girl Child Day they are going to celebrate this Rangoli Utsav. They are going to organize this Rangoli Utsav, and my dear learners, the right answer to this question is option D, that is 24th January. So on 24th of January every year, Government of India, the whole nation celebrates the National Girl Child Day, and on the similar day, in order to celebrate the National Girl Child Day, Ministry of Culture is organizing this Umang Rangoli Utsav. So I hope that this particular question is also very much clear to all of you. And now let us move on to the next question from today's session. That is, see, recently 3 Indian states have celebrated their 50th statehood day, and in this question you are required to identify the name of these 3 states. Okay, whether it was Tripura, Meghalaya, Manipur, all of the above, or both A and B, and the right answer to this question is option D, that is all of the above, as Tripura, Meghalaya and Manipur are the states which have celebrated their 50th statehood day on the 21st of January 2022, as these particular states were being formed in being in 1972. Okay, so that was the date that you are required to remember, and this is a typical GA question which can be asked in the GA phase of the exam only. So I hope that this is very much clear, and now let us move on to the googly question. And today the googly question is being based on the Green Energy Corridor phase 2, and here in this particular question once again you are required to identify the correct statement in relation with this particular Green Energy Energy Corridor Phase 2, which has received the approval from the Union Cabinet recently. And once again, you are required to identify the correct statement by going through these statements which are being mentioned here, and do answer the question in the comment section below. Now, when we talk about the homework question from the previous session, in the previous session, the question was that as per the 17th edition of the India State of Forest Report, what percent of the forest cover in India is prone to forest fires? And the right answer for that question is 35.46%. And my dear learners, I am marking the star here, as this particular report is really very important from this exam point of view. Okay, now when we talk about the star performers from the previous session, then Mintu Kumar, Janani Selvi and Gagandeep, all these three people are the star performers. And if you also want your name to be mentioned here in the upcoming session, then kindly answer this particular question. That is, recently one of the state governments of India have approved the Mana Voru Mana Badi program. Okay, and here in this particular question you are required to identify the name of the state, whether it was Karnataka, Odisha, Kerala, Tamil Nadu or Telangana, which has recently approved the Mana Voru Mana Badi program, which means our village, our school. Okay, so when we talk about this particular program, this particular state under this program is going to revamp the school infrastructure as well as teaching facilities. And when we talk about those particular facilities, then these facilities includes the digital education, modernized toilets, 100% electrification of the schools, then furniture for the teachers as well as the students, then building infrastructure like new classrooms, then providing safe drinking water to the students. So all these activities will be covered under this particular program, and you are required to identify the name of the state, which state cabinet has recently approved the set of guidelines for the implementation of this particular program. Okay, so kindly answer the question in the comment section below. And my dear learners, that was all from the today's session. I really believe that today's session was useful and fruitful to all of you. And if you have any queries, you can drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 814-620-7241. So thank you for joining us. Wish you all happy learning.